Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to Diana Emerson today. We're listening to Devil Went Down to Georgia.
June 29, 2011 is a hot summer day on the campus of Mercer University in Macon, Georgia. That afternoon, Mary Caldwell pays an unannounced visit to her best friend, Lauren Giddings, who hasn't been answering her phone.
Lauren, it's Mary. Hey, Lauren, it's Mary. Where are you? I'm getting worried. Call me.
Mary hasn't heard from her friend in the last 4 days. And as her concern rises, she calls Lauren's sister, Caitlin, back in her hometown of Baltimore.
Hello? Hi, Mary, what's up? Have you heard from Lauren? No, I just figured she was buried under a stack of law books.
Lauren and her friends had graduated from law school just 3 weeks earlier, but they had all stuck around to study for the Georgia bar exam, and no one has taken it more seriously than Lauren.
She was competitive in everything: sports, school, life. She was that typical first child that was good at everything and worked hard for it. Lauren was a girly girl, but then she also loved sports and loved to run. So she wasn't afraid to get dirty or just do, I don't know, sporty things too.
Her hope was to become a defense attorney, go into criminal law and defend people accused in crimes.
She was going to be a member of the community that gave something back.
No one's heard from her in a couple of days. We tried calling and she's not answering.
I quickly checked my phone and was like, yeah, you're right. She hasn't returned my texts or calls either.
Okay, just let yourself into her apartment. And please keep me updated. Okay, will do.
I knew that there's definitely something wrong. It wasn't normal. There was something going on.
Frustrated, Mary reaches out to friends and classmates for help.
Jake, it's Mary.
And arranges to meet with them back at Lauren's apartment later that evening, after she picked up the spare set of keys at her own place.
Lauren?
Mary checks out Lauren's apartment with her boyfriend Harrison Schmidt and Harrison's roommate, Jake Jones.
When they went in, Lauren's purse and her keys and her wallet, her phone, all that was still there.
This isn't right.
The presence of her law books shatters any last hopes that Lauren had decided to cram for the bar exam somewhere else.
If she hasn't talked to us or her family, there has to be a problem. Hi, yes, I'd like to report someone missing. Her name is Lauren Giddings.
A lot of the people at the district attorney's office were Mercer Law School graduates, and they maintained a relationship with those students. A lot of people knew Lauren. When word spread that she was missing, a lot of people got involved.
With the popular graduate having vanished sometime in the past 3 days, police treat Lauren Giddings' apartment like a potential crime scene.
And copy that. Please continue.
She wouldn't just leave without calling one of us. We talked.
He was told that this was very unlike Lauren, that she is the kind of person who stays in contact with all her friends daily and continuously makes contact with her sisters and her family and so forth.
Do you remember what she was wearing at the time?
Pink shirt, pink shorts. She always wears pink.
Mary explains to the officer that it was pretty typical for them to meet up as a group during the course of their tough semesters, which they planned to do later that night.
Hey, how are you doing? Great. Are you ready for tonight? Yeah, I promised myself a night off. I haven't done that in weeks. Good girl. Well, we'll see you around 8. Okay, sounds good. Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Later that night, they all got together at their favorite bar.
Couple shots for the home stretch.
There was nothing in Lauren's demeanor that last night they saw her that would raise a red flag with any of her friends.
To the bar exam. May we all pass.
I'll drink to that.
Cheers.
Investigators are hoping that they can find something in her apartment that yields a clue as to her whereabouts.
So what do we got?
No forced entry. Windows are locked and doors locked too, according to friends.
There's no sign of forced entry. Honestly, the only thing missing is Lauren at this point.
Her car's parked outside, but her keys and purse are here.
It looked like a normal apartment. You couldn't see any visible signs of struggle.
She obviously didn't go to bed last night.
There was nothing that seemed disturbed. There was nothing knocked over or anything that would suggest that a violent crime had been committed.
Investigators decide to use luminol to search for hidden traces of blood.
When you spray this stuff on whatever it is, maybe walls, toilets, sinks, when you turn the lights off, it has a specific glow if that chemical has come in contact with blood or bodily fluid.
Nothing.
All right, let's try the bathroom.
Coffee.
We were looking for the smallest amounts of blood that we could possibly see on the ground.
Cut the lights.
What the luminol reveals is evidence of a bloodbath, leading detectives to a sobering conclusion.
I think we're looking for a body.
Police in Macon are still searching for missing Mercer Law student Lauren Giddings.
The citywide search for Lauren Giddings begins at dawn. Police check all the areas she was known to frequent. And her distraught family is doing everything they can to locate her.
It was pretty much just contacting anyone, just to try to figure out what was going on. I had called the local hospitals to see if there was anybody with her description. We had no clue. I didn't know she was out running, fell and hit her head, had a heart, you have no clue what could happen.
The next morning, investigators return to her apartment building to see if there's anything they may have missed.
Keep looking, please. They haven't found anything yet.
That's when they realize evidence may be very close at hand.
The wind picked up, and it was just blowing all around us. We could smell something that we hadn't smelled the whole time we've been on scene.
Things come from this can over here.
We were very familiar with that smell. It was a very distinctive odor. You never really get used to the smell of a dead body.
Police in Macon, Georgia, have just uncovered what appears to be a human body inside a dumpster outside of Lauren Giddings' apartment. And just in the nick of time. It seems the perpetrator hadn't counted on police interrupting routine trash collection.
The police had come that morning just before the garbage truck was coming. All of the cop cars surrounded the area, so the garbage truck couldn't get in.
Oh boy.
If we had been there 30 minutes later, that trash can would have been gone.
Go ahead, Benson. Open it up.
Yep. Appears to be a human torso.
There were no head, legs, or arms. It was very disturbing.
Female, Caucasian. Only article of clothing, a pair of pink shorts.
Detectives can't be sure of the identity of the torso, but the location and color of the clothing points to a clear conclusion.
We know that Lauren Giddens has been reported missing. We're now finding the torso of a female in the trash can outside.
Let's tag all this up and get it back to the lab.
Copy.
You ever seen anything like this? Never.
I knew I was dealing with a monster.
The torso is taken back to the lab, where DNA tests positively ID it as 27-year-old Lauren Giddens. Detectives contact Lauren's mother, Karen, in Maryland with the terrible news.
Hello? Yes, this is she. I'm sorry, what?
There's no words to describe that kind of situation. You know, there's nothing to say or do at that point. In the beginning, you know, every second was hard to get through.
No, that can't be.
I can't imagine what the whole family went through. I mean, you send her out off to law school, and then everything just crumbles.
Word of the gruesome crime quickly spreads through campus.
The media had discovered that we had found a torso in the trash can. Many of Lauren's friends were actually approached by a news anchor.
Excuse me, can I talk to you?
Sure.
Including her fellow law school student and neighbor, Stephen McDaniel.
In the parking lot area, I know they've been doing a lot of, I think that's where they would have recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body?
Have you seen anything there? Are you okay, sir?
I think I need to sit down.
Okay.
Any news? I just can't believe it.
It's utter heartbreak.
Who the hell would do something like this?
And McDaniel is not alone. The whole community is reeling.
This was a killing that was particularly heinous. It went further to desecrating the body, and that struck people very hard.
We're not only law enforcement officers, but we're people too, so it does affect us.
Police urgently try to locate the missing parts of Lauren Giddens' body.
Our investigators did some searches into some of the area of the river bank where the law school was located. Also, 2 of the landfills were searched, but we didn't turn up anything as far as any remains.
Detectives are anxious to start questioning everyone in her inner circle, starting with her best friend, Mary Caldwell.
Lauren had no secrets.
Then when did you see her last?
Mary tells them again about seeing Lauren running in the park and then meeting up with their friends the prior weekend. But it was on the morning after that gathering that Mary saw her friend alive for the last time. After hanging out at the bar, the girls had gone with Mary's boyfriend, Harrison, and his roommate, Jake, back to their place.
I gotta crack those books in the morning.
Yeah. But you've got no appointment scheduled right now.
Come on.
Her best friend described that the following morning when she got up, that Lauren was still asleep. And that was the last time that she'd seen Lauren.
Jake told Mary he also left before Lauren woke up, and no one saw her again. That detail becomes even more intriguing when Mary tells detectives Lauren and Jake Jones have a romantic history.
We learned that she had dated Jake, at which point in time I knew I needed to talk to this person.
Police track Jake down to his apartment, which is just a few blocks from Lauren's complex.
Hi, Jake. This is about Lauren? You all right if we ask you a few questions? Yeah, of course. Anything you need.
Investigators begin by questioning him about his relationship to Lauren.
Okay, it's not like that. We're just friends. I guess we were.
Jake explains that the pair had begun dating early on in their law school days. But after a brief courtship, things never really blossomed between them.
Look, I want you to know that I wasn't happy.
Despite the breakup, he says the two have remained good friends.
Listen, I had nothing to do with her death. We just need to know exactly where you were from the time Mary saw you and Lauren to the time we found her body. When you're getting ready for a bar exam, you're either sleeping, studying, or hanging with friends. And I got a bunch of guys that can tell you where I was.
With the heat on, Jake quickly points out that he isn't the only man in Lauren's life. The last several years, he says she's been seeing an older man.
You should really be looking at her current boyfriend, Vincent Smith.
It's a name the detectives haven't heard before.
How's it going, darling?
Okay. Vincent Smith lived in Atlanta. He was a good bit older than Lauren, and there was some talk that she might have been planning to live with him if she'd gotten a job near where he lived.
That guy, we hardly ever saw him.
Handed a new potential suspect and still not convinced of Jake's innocence. Police are about to find out that right before her death, Lauren was terrified that one of her admirers was getting too close.
She said in the email that she thought someone had tried to break into her apartment.
Just days after the discovery of Lauren Giddings' torso, with officers searching in vain for the rest of her remains, detectives pay a visit to the home of Lauren's boyfriend, Vincent Smith.
I just can't believe it. So horrible.
An older gentleman that she had worked with and had dated. He lived in Atlanta and worked at a law firm there.
I know the age difference may seem odd, but Lauren was an old soul.
I don't think any parent likes to hear that someone's 20 years older than their daughter, but they had been together for maybe 3 years or more. Had broken up, but gotten back together. He'd been up to Maryland to visit at least once at that point and was there for my wedding also. Nice guy.
I heard some speculation. She's just using you to get a job.
Maybe a free place to stay right after graduation.
It's just not true. We talked about living together because we loved each other. In fact, I was just looking at this earlier today.
On the surface, Vincent doesn't seem threatening, but there's something dark in his past.
I couldn't help but wondering, who's that?
Her name is Joanne. She was so sweet, but she suffered from depression. I tried getting her help, but she just wouldn't take it.
He had an ex-girlfriend that committed suicide. Law enforcement thought there might be something there.
Detectives can't ignore Smith had two very young girlfriends who are now dead.
I told Lauren all about Joanne. She knew why I kept this picture. Now she's gone too.
Vincent said that he loved Lauren very much. He had actually planned to propose to her on a peak sand beach in Bermuda.
You'll just have to excuse me.
He was so upset, it was hard for him to have a conversation. But I decided to make every effort I could to get an understanding when the last time he may have spoken to Lauren was.
Turns out it was making Vincent the last known person to have spoken to Lauren.
I got her a membership to a club near campus, but I wasn't there. I was in California on a golf trip.
According to Vincent, Lauren spent the day alone at the club and then shared some alarming news with him later that evening.
Hello?
Hi, this is your neighbor from across the way?
Yeah.
I think I saw some perv looking in your window.
there was someone who was affiliated with that apartment who saw someone with a very large stick with a camera on the end of that stick actually spying and looking in through the blinds.
If I were you, I'd want to know.
Thank you.
She emailed him that she thought someone had tried to break into her apartment. That was her last contact with him or anyone else.
I told her to call the police, but for some reason she wouldn't.
I just need to see proof of that trip to California, okay?
No. I need them for tax purposes, but this should show you everything you need to know about my trip.
Detectives will have to verify all of Vincent's receipts and alibis, as well as the history of his previous girlfriend.
Vincent Smith's receipts check out.
Thanks.
It isn't just Vincent's receipts that verify this story, however. Analyzing the timestamp on a fast food receipt found in Lauren's apartment from the last day she was seen leads investigators to the security footage from the restaurant's drive-through window.
The restaurant location's on her way home from the country club. Wait, I think that's her. That's her arm reaching out the window there.
Just a few hours later, she would be alerting her boyfriend to a potential stalker at her apartment. Investigators are now sure Vincent Smith is nothing more than a grieving boyfriend.
Through emails and numerous phone calls, and with the assistance of other law enforcement agencies like the FBI, we were able to confirm that he was telling the truth.
He was indeed 2,500 miles away in California, and a closer look into his previous girlfriend's suicide verifies that account as well.
Even though the police questioned her boyfriend, our family never suspected that it would be him.
The revelation leaves police with one less suspect, but not a completely dry well. They're still looking at Lauren's ex-boyfriend, Jake Jones.
I had him come in and provide an alibi for several days. I needed him to provide me with places he had been, people that were with him, people that had seen him there.
I can tell you where I was every moment from the time she disappeared to the time you guys found her. And I have texts, receipts, eyewitnesses, you name it.
Jake Jones seems to have near-perfect recall.
A lot of criminals maybe think they're smarter than the cops. But when you sit down in a room for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, it takes a cool character. And you better have your stuff together.
Well, let's start with the night at the bar with Lauren.
We've been hitting the books hard. We were just relaxing after a lot of studying.
So, where is Marion Harrison?
Playing pool. So, you're really leaving Macon at the end of next week, huh?
Yeah. Atlanta, here I come.
Suddenly, it really hit me. This might be the last time that I ever get to see Lauren. That made me sad. I'll admit, I still care about her, but I didn't love her anymore. I certainly didn't do anything to her. I couldn't.
And like Lauren's current boyfriend, her ex's story seems to check out.
I was able to reach out to all of these people that he provided names and addresses and phone numbers with, where they confirmed where he was day and night. And we were able to eliminate him as a suspect.
Now, less than a week after the discovery of Lauren Giddings' torso, police are suddenly out of suspects, except the unknown peeping Tom seen outside her window. And the family is desperate for answers.
The police, they didn't really have anybody in mind. There was no one that me and my family talked about together that we all thought might be the person who killed Lauren. The unknown is one of the hardest parts.
As desperation grips the family, police turn up the heat and make a gruesome discovery that will turn this case on its head. Police are out of suspects in the grisly murder of college co-ed Lauren Giddings. They now fear they're hunting a deadly stalker who could strike again.
In the years that I've been in law enforcement, have never had a case of this nature or magnitude.
Less than a week after her torso was found in the dumpster outside her apartment, detectives returned to the scene of the crime with cadaver dogs, who are specially trained to pick up the scent of the dead. The hope is the dogs will lead them to Lauren's missing remains, which might provide crucial clues for tracking her killer.
We felt confident they would be useful in this investigation with the fact that we had only found a torso. We were hoping that the dogs would help us locate the other limbs that were missing or possibly tell us where this crime may have occurred. My crime scene very well could be in another apartment.
Accompanied by detectives and the apartment building's owner, the dogs follow a scent.
I think we got a scent at the door.
Once inside, the canine unit hits on a scent.
I think you guys better check this out.
There were lots of tools to include different kinds of saws. One was a hacksaw.
Mike, can you come in here?
Hacksaw right there.
They conducted some further testing right there on the spot.
It's blood. Who has access to this room?
The night manager, Eugene Banks. He'll take you to his room. Yes.
Get Agnes, all right? This is good.
Detectives are anxious to question the night manager.
He was also a neighbor of Lauren's.
Eugene Banks?
Yeah. We're detectives investigating the murder of Lauren Giddings. You mind if we come in for a minute?
Well, that's not a good time right now.
Really?
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw Lauren?
She had a clog about a month ago.
Okay.
Eugene admits to being in Lauren's apartment several times, but insists it was just for routine maintenance calls she made.
There's a lot of food in here.
I didn't do anything crazy. I swear the drain is broken.
No worries. Never mind coming over here.
What would I do without you?
I don't know.
Okay. We'll need to know where you were the days Lauren went missing.
That's not a problem. I can do that. Yeah.
Not only does Banks possess the master key, he also had a rapport with Lauren, and with no...
From the time somebody last saw Lauren alive, all the way up to the day that we found the torso.
Okay. Well, I'll get that information to you later on the day.
Okay. All right. Oh, hang on. Do you know anything about that hacksaw hanging down in the maintenance closet there?
I don't think so.
Anything about that at all?
I don't know. I might not have ever used it. There's a lot of tools back there that we use.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Until he can provide detectives with an airtight alibi, Eugene now becomes their prime suspect. Digging for more information on the building manager, investigators question Lauren's closest neighbor and fellow law student, Stephen McDaniel, who'd recently been interviewed by reporters.
Stephen was amongst the many friends Lauren had that was out the night before looking for Lauren. They had conducted a search, and Stephen was a part of that search party.
Come on in. You know what happened to Lauren is really a shame. She was such a nice girl.
Stephen, do you know Eugene Banks?
Eugene, he works at the apartments?
Do you know if he had any interest at all in Lauren?
I don't know. I really...
Did you have any interest in Lauren?
No.
Did you have any classes with Lauren?
Yeah, we actually had some classes together, and then we were in the Federalist Society Club, so we saw each other a couple times a week.
Oh my gosh, they're great. I can't wait to post these around campus. One small thing. Can we make the day a little bit bigger?
Yeah, sure.
They're perfect. I love them.
He was vice president of the Federalist Society. So we had heard about him in passing. I mean, they had been together for 3 years in the apartment next door and in the same class together. It's a smaller school.
Stephen doesn't have anything to offer on Eugene Banks, but detectives are now curious about his own relationship to Lauren.
Did you ever want to date her?
No.
She was an attractive girl.
You know, detectives, actually, I don't believe in sex before marriage. I know it's old school, but that's actually why my ex-girlfriend dumped me.
Okay. His behavior was strange, and his demeanor was strange, but he was cooperative.
Stephen, you don't mind that we're looking around here, right? It's just procedure. We're just checking all the apartments in the building here.
I guess so. Yeah, that works.
During that search, we found condoms.
You know anyone else who might have had a problem with Lauren?
No, not at all. Everyone really liked her.
You don't believe premarital sex, but you got a stack of condoms in your apartment.
And that's not all. McDaniel has a more disturbing secret.
I'm not proud of it, but I've broken into some apartments.
And what about Lauren, Stephen? Did you ever go into her apartment without her knowledge? Just once.
Okay, was that recently?
I don't remember.
And when you went into her apartment, how'd you do it? See, we're going to take you down to the station so we can talk about this a little more.
Police investigating the dismemberment death of law school graduate Lauren Giddings have arrested her classmate and neighbor, Stephen McDaniel, for burglary.
I could not understand how a law student who understands every meaning of right to an attorney and so forth would just offer up that I stole those condoms from another apartment that I made an illegal entry into. But he did.
Now feeling he is a suspect in Lauren's murder, McDaniel tells police to stop the search of his apartment, knowing they only have him on the burglary charge.
So you don't want me looking in your apartment at all?
If you want to look there, I'll walk you through it. I've got several firearms that I own, and I don't want other people.
How many firearms do you have?
I've got a semi-automatic rifle, and then I've got 2 handguns as well.
As investigators peel back more layers, they grow increasingly suspicious about McDaniel's evasiveness.
You stated that you're willing to do anything to help me.
If I can help, I will, but it's the lawyer in me, I suppose.
McDaniels is not giving him a whole lot. It's a remarkable bit of being coy by him.
I've asked everyone that lives in that apartment complex if it would be all right for us to search their apartment. Give me consent to search. I've asked everyone there, and everyone in the apartment complex has agreed, except you.
McDaniel's objections only serve to heighten the cloud of suspicion around him. And thanks to his confession of burglary, police have other grounds to search his apartment.
Stephen McDaniel was arrested for burglary, and an actual search warrant had been obtained for his apartment.
He likes his weapons, doesn't he?
He also has a collection of data drives.
Please move those to the top of the list. I want to know what's on those flash drives.
Got it. Got something here.
McDaniel has already admitted to breaking into some of the apartments in the building. What he hasn't told the police is how he gained entry.
He has a master key, too. Hey, Ken? This could be from the saw in the maintenance closet.
Investigators found packaging to a hacksaw and it matched up to the hacksaw that we found tissue on.
Shortly before her murder, Lauren emailed her boyfriend Vincent about someone prowling outside her apartment.
I think I know who's been stalking Lauren.
Investigators discover a small video camera attached to a pole in McDaniel's closet.
See what's on it.
He took a digital video camera and it attached it to that pole and used it to peek into Lauren's apartment and see if she was at home. We found on his personal camera files that showed that he was spying on Lauren the night that she went missing.
Video footage, master keys, weapons. The evidence against McDaniel is so overwhelming, he decides to finally tell the truth.
And as part of that guilty plea, he agreed to write a confession where he described what had happened.
It's a horrifying account of Lauren's last moments of life.
As they struggle, her legs end up under the bed where she can't get any leverage and fight back.
During the investigation and talking to many of his friends, we learned how much Stephen McDaniel talked about committing the perfect murder. He would brag about how he knew how to kill people and get away with it.
You cut the body up into little pieces and you place it in different locations. They wouldn't know where it would have happened or who did it even.
This was one of the most sinister things someone can do to someone else. He wanted to make a human being disappear. He was piecemeal destroying her body, cutting it up. He wanted to leave no trace. He was disposing of the arms, legs, and the head in a trash can.
Across the street was a big dumpster, and that dumpster picked up at 4 o'clock in the morning before investigators got there. That torso was too heavy for him to carry all the way across the street. Is why he put the torso in the trash can beside the farm building.
This would have been a missing persons case forever without some fantastic police work.
He saw this as his neighbor who he had some affection or interest in, and she was about to leave. She was about to leave town. They were about to be separated.
We had a forensic evaluation of his computer conducted, and he had an interest in sadistic sexual practices and pornography and an obsession with Lauren Giddings. People who have this type of homicidal urge derive pleasure from other people suffering or dying, whether or not there is an overt sexual act.
In retrospect, his news appearance takes on a whole new meaning.
The only thing we can think is that maybe she went out running and someone snatched her.
The news anchor actually told him that law enforcement had found a dead body, and he went into complete shock. You have to remember, as far as he knew, the trash ran that morning and picked that body up. It was only because my car was blocking the entranceway that day that body was even still there to be found by police.
Are you okay, sir? That's okay, let's sit down.
Though some felt his punishment should be even more extreme, McDaniel is sentenced to life in prison.
Because Lauren herself was against the death penalty, we knew that in those circumstances it would be difficult to get the death penalty.
Her father told me once that life in prison in a Georgia prison is about as close to hell as you could get. So I think maybe he was okay with that.
Justice may be done for Lauren's family, but the hole Lauren left behind can never be filled.
Mine and Lauren's relationship was just starting to develop into more of a friendship. It's one of those things you never get over, you just get through. I mean, I have kids now. They don't have the aunt that they would have had. With losing Lauren, the thing I miss most is just having another role model to look up to. And I know I learned to be confident and to stand up for myself. I learned how to dress, how to do makeup, everything like that from her. Favorite memory would be my wedding. She was my maid of honor. It was just a week before it happened. It was the best day of my life, and that was the last time I saw her.